All right, so far we've looked at the basics of trading, how to read a chart, how to determine support and resistance, and do candlestick patterns actually work? Before we move any further, let's look at a couple of pros and cons of a full-time trading job or a full-time trading career. And here they are. Now, on the list of pros, we have in first place, of course, and probably the main reason why people try to become traders, we have money. Yes, it's true. If you become a good trader, if you increase your skills to a point where you know what you're doing in the markets, there's a lot of money to be made. The second pro about being a trader is time. Now, what this means is once you become a profitable trader, of course, not during the learning process, because the learning process is really difficult, as we're going to learn here. But once you become actually profitable, you do have a lot of free time because you're only going to look at your charts maybe once in the morning, once at noon, once at night, depending on what markets you trade. So you will have a lot of time on your hands. With that time and with that money and time comes a lot of freedom. Freedom to do whatever you want, freedom from doing something that you don't want, freedom from stress, freedom from worries, and so on. It feels good. It's awesome too. It's probably more important than money and time, but unfortunately they come together. You can't really get one without the other. Number 4, security. What I mean by security is security of basically job security. You can't be fired because the market keeps going up and down, and as long as it keeps going up and down, you can profit from it. You can't be fired for some ideas that you have, which actually it happens a lot lately. The world is very polarized. When you have the wrong opinion, you're going to get fired, or you need to self-censor so you don't attract negative attention and so on. You cannot be cancelled. Nobody needs to know what you're doing except for your tax office that you need to pay taxes to. Other than that, your job is secure. The fifth and final pro for today is exponential growth. What I mean by this one is in a normal 9-to-5 job, or even if you're, I don't know, high-level executive or whatever, a CEO of a company, your efforts and your increase in skills are never directly proportional to the rewards that you get for that job, right? So there's kind of a ceiling that you hit at a specific point where there's just diminishing returns, right? The more you grow, the more skills that you have doesn't mean that you're going to get directly proportionally increases in salary. On the other hand, in Forex, the more experience you have, the more you know what you're doing, the more you can increase your account. You can increase even your risk if you can handle that. And usually your financial rewards grow along with your skills. So that's absolutely amazing. I can't think of any other job or career where this is the case. All right, so this all sounds very good. Now remember, these are only valid if and only if you become a profitable trader, which is going to take a long time, as we're going to discuss in the next few minutes. Now, for the cons, we have, of course, difficult, which is one of the main reasons why people don't even think of becoming traders, because the first look at the charts, you're like, what on earth is this? I will never be able to figure it out. I better not try. Of the people who think, yeah, you know what, I can actually try and see what happens, the next factor comes in, which is risk. It's very risky, so a lot of people are willing to start and learn and all of that, but as soon as they see, hey, you know what, there's a lot of money to be lost here, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm putting my, hard-earned savings on the line, so I'm not going to do this. It's really, really a very important factor of this. It's very risky, at least, especially in the early days. The third one is a very long learning curve. You can't hope to start trading, open your demo account, start going, and then a year later being profitable. I'm sure there's people out there who managed to achieve that. It didn't happen to me. It didn't happen to anybody that I know that's making money off of this. It takes years and years and years And also, there's another thing that happens here, the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is, I think, very, very pronounced in trading. Namely, your confidence is like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I have no idea about this, but then you start learning a little bit of knowledge, right? So this is knowledge here. You start acquiring a little bit of knowledge and your confidence goes super high and you're like, oh my God, this is great. I wish I had learned about this earlier. And you start putting your money in there, you start investing your hard-earned cash, only to realize that you don't actually know what you're doing, and then you fall all the way to the valley of despair, where most people quit most jobs and most difficult tasks. But I think for trading is like 10 times more pronounced, because this is not only your time that you've lost, but also your money, and that can feel really, really, really depressing. So the long learning curve is this, from here to here. It takes a long, long time to manage not only the knowledge, because it's kind of complicated to get the strategies in order, but also your emotions. You got to be in control of your emotions. You got to figure out a way to not freak out when you're in a drawdown, and to figure out a way to not feel like the king of the world when you do have profits, and to not increase risk just because you've had a few winning trades. So long learning curve, a very important factor. The last two are a little bit, the last two here, boring and no value added to society. Now, these are, again, after you've become profitable. After you become profitable, it becomes very, very boring, because you just don't have a lot of things to do. It's just numbers on a chart. You enter a trade, you close a trade, you wait, you draw your whatever strategies you have. You enter your charts 2-3 times a day. You don't have a lot to do. It gets boring. It's nothing exciting. So you will start doing other things on the side. Believe me, everybody pretty much does that. You start a podcast. You start teaching other people how to do it. A lot of people do that. The last one, and I feel like this is very important as well, is that we don't really add any value to society. So if you're you make bread, or you clean the streets, or whatever job you have, usually you're helping other people have a better, more comfortable, more convenient life. You're a delivery driver. Whatever your job is, you're actually making life better for other people. In the case of trading, you're not. You're making life better for you and your immediate family, of course, but you're not really adding any value to society. And it's actually, after a while, you start to feel it, that, hey, you know what? I'm not actually contributing anything. I'm not making the world better. I'm not preaching or anything, but it does start to feel like, you know what? I'm just taking advantage of up and down movements. I'm working with numbers on a chart. Luckily, you have all the time and freedom in the world to do whatever you want, and you can choose to do other things. So this one has a silver lining, and we're going to go to the silver linings here as well. So the difficult part has a silver lining of building character, basically. If you do something difficult for a long time, your character is going to get positively influenced by it. Let me see, character building. So these difficult, let me put the arrow here. So I'm going to put this in the middle. Let's make it a bit smaller. Okay, so these are character building things. The difficulty part is definitely going to improve your character. You're going to learn to go through adversity and to continue going, and it's really, really good for you. Whether you're a man or a woman, it's really, really good to do that. Risky as well. It teaches you not to panic when you're in a difficult situation. It teaches you that you can get out of it eventually. It teaches you to stay calm. It teaches you a little bit, like maybe you're a risk-averse person. It teaches you to be a bit more flexible, a bit more less rigid. Long learning curve, definitely character building. You know, you stick with something that's difficult for a long time. The person that you become on the other side of the journey is not going to be the same as the one who started, guaranteed. And then silver linings, of course, for the boring and no value added to society, of course, is that you do have time and freedom. So you can choose to do with that, and even money, actually. Why don't I add that as well? You have time, freedom, and money to do whatever you want to help the world and the people around you however you choose to, and that I believe is a very good life to lead. All right, leave your comments and your questions in the comment section. I hope you found it enlightening on some level, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.